Welcome back to the Fried Eggs
Yay!
podcast. Is this our last episode of the year? Have we decided? We haven't decided.
It's not our no, we have to have at least one more. It's just the beginning of
One
December.
more.
Yeah, I
I
think we
know.
should
I
we'll
think,
do another I feel like a really fun one or something right before the year is up.
does December not feel so overwhelming to you though? I feel like
Okay. Yes, it does.
I feel like December's already over, even though it's the beginning of December because every single day is so packed. But you're right,
Yeah.
it's just the beginning of the month. So we'll have another episode. So welcome back to the second or third last episode of the year of the Fried
Woohoo!
Eggs podcast. We've made
Yay!
it.
We've made it December.
We've arrived. We've survived. I was telling Amy before we hit record, so I'll finish the story now.
Yes. Why
Okay,
didn't you
so
shower today?
I didn't shower, but I'm excited to shower later because this is where the story's going, right?
I was about to say you're going to take what is it? A full shower. What do they call it? A full shower? What do they call it? It's like
Yeah,
a thing now.
an everything shower.
An
Yes.
everything shower. Okay, yeah, which I
Yes.
didn't know how to name, but is
Mhm.
exactly right. It is so
It's exactly
absolutely
right.
right. It's like when
Yes.
what they call hot girl dinner, and I'm like, yeah,
I mean,
and
it's just
I'm
girl dinner,
alone.
but
A
yes,
girl
hot.
dinner. I'm adding the hot to the hot girl dinner.
I
Why
mean,
not?
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So,
It's so funny when we coin these things because it's like you didn't realize you were missing it, and now you're like, oh, that's it. And it's also like, "Oh, you see me. Like, I'm
right.
not the
Yes.
only one. This isn't weird that I do this." You know?
It's like those videos. Some of my favorite videos on social media are the ones where it shows someone doing something and you're like, I didn't know anyone else did that, but the entire internet chimes in and is like resonates with it. Like the one I'm thinking of is it's like millennials growing up, and it's the one where you are on the bed and you like stick your legs up in the air and like hold them in the air. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where you like try to balance and see like how you can. Okay, I'm gonna have to find a photo of this for you.
While, like, on your bed?
Amy, you're not supporting my point that
Okay, one of my favorite
this is.
things, that I've seen recently is, like, the urge to go back into your garage and make music videos with your best friends. Have you
Oh
seen
my
that?
gosh, yes.
I was like, "Ah, yes." So I was not the only one trying to become a Spice Girl
Maybe
or a part of Destiny's Child.
we should bring that. I mean, I guess TikTok kind of has brought that back, but like the full, I mean, we did it in full costume. Like we did
Oh,
one
yeah.
to Evanescence, and I dressed up as I was the guy in Bring Me
Ah,
to Life, and I like
no.
grew on a goatee with Sharpie, and yeah, because that's what you do when you're 13 and don't have a cell
Wait.
phone and live in the mountains.
I need to see the footage of this video.
I'll have to find it for you. Yeah, we were over Thanksgiving. My brother found a home video camcorder that we didn't know
Aw.
existed, and so we like it was like 11 o'clock at night. Everyone's exhausted, and my brother and I are in the garage looking for power cords. Like, how do we hook this thing up? How do we figure it out? And yeah, there were some really great videos, specifically of
Aw.
my youngest sister, Amy, just narrating her entire life and like singing to the camera and recording
Cute.
all of the
Cute.
videos that we did.
That's so fun. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. So my new life hack is to celebrate the holiday before the holiday. And here is why.
Ooh.
We celebrated Thanksgiving on Wednesday because a few of my siblings needed to they were spending Thanksgiving with their partners or spouses, family on actual Thanksgiving. And so it just made the most sense for my family and all of my siblings,
Yeah.
there are four of us, to celebrate on Wednesday instead of Thursday. So we did Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday, and it was so great because then on Thanksgiving Day, we woke up and we watched the parade. And then it was just like eat leftovers, hang out. Like it was
Nice.
so quiet and relaxing, where I feel like normally Thanksgiving Day is super busy. And it also was great because like the day that we celebrated Thanksgiving, things were still open. So we were able to like go get a coffee. And like if we needed to go get something else at the grocery store, like we could still do that. So it was really nice. I loved doing it that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such a good hack. So nice to not be stressed during the
It
actual day
was yeah, because
'cause we're always,
everything's
like, running
closed.
around. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and so it's like when you celebrate or when I don't know, it just felt like everyone else is, like, getting ready and dressed up and, like, doing the whole production of Thanksgiving, but, like, we already did it. So, like, we're just watching movies today and, like, eating leftover pie, and it was really
Yeah.
great.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's awesome. That's smart.
You guys, I saw on Instagram, did you cook a turkey or was that
My brother cooked a turkey for the
okay?
first time, and I was so proud of him, and Katie,
Oh,
like, I'm the little sister, right? Like, I'm the
yeah,
only
yeah.
girl in the family, and we don't usually do Thanksgiving as, like, a small family unit. It's been, like, a big, like, extended family thing for a long time, but the last couple years, it's changed around. So this year, it was just our, like, unit, my brother's families, and me and Nima. And so my brother was the middle brother, Daniel, was going to cook the turkey. They were hosting, and I was,
Mhm.
like, the annoying one who was, like, gently trying not to be annoying, being like, "But you've never made a turkey. Do do you need a hand? Like,
Yes.
here's just some good recipes that I've found in the past." And he was, like, super funny and sassy back to me. He was like, "I make the best, roasted chicken breast in the, in the South Bay." And I was like, "Mhm, that's a very different than a whole turkey." But I will say, props to him. He crushed it. It was so
Yeah,
good. We used What's Gabi Cooking,
okay.
recipe
Yeah,
What's
I saw
Gabi
you
Cooking,
tagged.
Gabi's
Yeah.
recipe. I tagged her. Hope she saw it because I was so proud of him. I was like, it was the best turkey I've ever had. And it was his very first turkey he ever made. And I was like,
Amazing.
dang, that was so good. But then on Friday, we were with Nima's family and we were actually up in the mountains in Lake Arrowhead area. There was only one small oven. And so it's like blasphemy. Okay, cover your ears if you guys
Oh
are like
gosh.
traditional Thanksgiving people and you will
Did
hate
you
this.
microwave a turkey?
No, no. But Nima's uncle brought rotisserie chickens
Yeah.
and they
Great.
were delicious. They were
Oh, I'm
so
sure they were
good.
amazing.
Like, no one cooked a turkey. Sorry. Yeah,
What is
it was
your
great.
what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I was trying to think about that because I don't know. I love to make pie. It's like a personal challenge.
Okay.
And every year I get really excited about doing it, but then I realize that I only really make pie once or twice a year. And so then every time I have to do it, I have to like relearn the pro tips from the last year. But this year, my pies were so beautiful and they were like the best I've made and they were so good. So I love that. And
Were they what kind of pies were they?
I did like a berry mix, berry cranberry pie. They were both kind of the same filling, slightly different, and it was so good. What's your favorite?
That sounds amazing. I'm a terrible baker, but my mom always makes she made 3 pies this year, which was very
Losing my hair.
impressive.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. We were like, "Mom, we
What
don't
kind
need
of
3
pies did
pies."
she
But
make?
then she made pecan or maybe she only ended up doing 2. She actually might have I think she had 3 planned. Yeah, she was gonna do an apple one too, but she just did pecan and, um, a gluten-free pumpkin cheesecake because that's what my niece and nephew love.
I should ask her for that recipe. I'd like to try a
Yeah,
gluten-free recipe.
it was really good. Yeah, she's really good with gluten-free baking because of my sister and
I
all
didn't
of the people
realize
who have celiac.
they all have celiac?
Yeah, mhm, so 2 of my siblings.
So when you were going through all that testing, that
Oh,
was, like, for sure a potential.
okay, here we go. Remember, this is an IVF and infertility podcast. Yes,
Yep,
100%.
and here is the segue.
Yes, let me think. It was probably was it, maybe 2023 that I was like, "Oh my gosh, maybe
Uh,
it's celiac. That's why
mm,
I can't get pregnant is
yeah,
because of this." And that's when I think it was 2023 because that's when I did the endoscopy and colonoscopy.
yeah. I remember.
And
Mhm.
yes, segue again because Amy, this made me I was thinking about this as I was getting ready today. Does anyone else resonate with not getting ready and feeling like it's because of COVID? Because I feel like
Yes.
I have been in sweats since 2020, and now that I'm postpartum as well, like I see all of these, I mean, social media is social media, right? It's all smoke and
Mhm.
mirrors, but I
True.
see all of these people getting ready every day, and I'm like, I don't know the last time that I put on a pair of jeans, and it like I'm just always in sweats. And so,
Yeah.
but I also blame it on COVID because it's like I don't have to go back to I've never had to go back to the office. And I think
Mhm.
other people, you have meetings, so you have to look more presentable. I
Just
work a
from the
remote
waist
job
up.
where from the waist up, yes. But like there are weeks where I don't have any work meetings. And so I can just like not look like this. Like
You can
just
just,
look
like, not get ready at all. Like,
I can just not get ready at all.
you
Yes.
could just wear your PJs, literally. You could go from bed to work and back to bed.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I feel like COVID plus infertility and IVF plus not having to be on Zoom calls and then now add like having a newborn to that. And it's just
Yeah.
like, am I wasting away my entire life in sweats and
Well,
a bun?
okay, this is a really actually, like, a good question because what is the value of getting ready? And it's probably
Great
different
question.
for
Yes.
everybody. And I kinda struggle with that a little bit or I question it because I know if I don't do anything and just, literally don't get out of my PJs, like, that might be nice for, like, a day, like a PJ day or, like a lazy Sunday or day after Christmas or kind of vibe, and I'll enjoy it. But if I did that too long, I think I would feel and I know I would feel like a blob and, like,
Mhm.
sort of depressed kind of
Yes.
situation. Um on the other hand, I don't know the last time I woke up and put jeans on in the morning. Like,
Mhm.
I generally change into, like I have daytime loungewear and I have bedtime loungewear,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And so,
I
like,
guess
it's still like
that
I'm getting dressed, but I'm not getting dressed. And then does that have an impact on your psyche? I don't know. It might.
think what the difference is though, and like the differentiator in what you're saying is that you're getting out of your pajamas and into loungewear and probably like
Yeah.
putting on a nice shirt and brushing your hair and like putting on some
Mhm.
makeup or just like looking presentable for the day.
Mhm.
I'm talking about like just not doing any of that.
Just
Like
not.
so here's a perfect example. The other day, Anthony stopped by with the fire truck. So they were in the area doing,
No.
I don't know,
No one
doing
can
something.
ever stop by unexpected ever. In work
Stop
from
by.
home life, my house
Who
is a mess. I haven't
invented the drop
put
in? Like
the
yeah.
laundry away, like, who knows if I'm wearing real pants?
Well,
Don't
I was
come
not
visit.
wearing a bra. I was not like in any shape or form like presentable. And of course, he didn't make me come outside. Like he came down and was like, "I'll get Lumi and like take her out. Like you don't have to come." And I'm like, "No, no, like I'll walk out and but I'm using her as a shield for my braless situation, which okay, pin in this. I want to also talk about this on the podcast because the boob situation like postpartum and also just like in general I feel like we need to have a conversation about
Yeah.
it because it's
Oh my
something
god.
that's been on my mind and just like
Absolutely.
how boobs change like through
Dude.
all of it
Yes. Okay, pin
infertility
and
and yeah,
boobs. We're gonna come back
yes,
to
pin and
boobs.
boobs.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm using my baby as a shield because I did not get up and get ready and put a bra on because I'm like, I don't have any meetings today and I'm working from home and watching my daughter and trying to juggle a million things. Where is the time?
Mhm.
Where is the
Mhm.
time to I mean, I do brush my teeth. I do make a cup
We
of
discussed
coffee.
that last time. You must
Yeah,
brush
I
your teeth.
her hygiene is a priority, so like she's dressed and ready for the day. She looks cute, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about this. Like, I do wonder if it makes me less likely to go out into the actual world because I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh, it just feels like a lot of effort." It's kind of similar to, like, what they say is if you really wanna go to the gym more often or go to your classes, like, put your workout clothes on, and then you're more likely to actually go do the thing. If I have
Yes.
to, like, change into workout clothes, I'm like, "Oh, wait." So that's, like, another hurdle. I wonder if it's the same thing, like, if I am too comfy, then I've sort of, like, written off that opportunity for the day. I'm like, "Well, I'm not going out for the day." And then
Yeah.
over time, does that impact me and, my mental health? Because, like, we should probably go, experience the outside world more often. I
Mhm.
don't know, but you're right. Since COVID, a lot has changed. And then certainly through infertility and IVF, like this is a perfect intro into what we wanted to talk about, right? Like infertility and IVF, when you're going through all of these ups and downs and hurdles and medical procedures, you just don't feel good and like yourself. Not to mention, there are many times where I just don't fit into anything I used to wear comfortably, so I just don't wanna wear wear them. And, I was going through surgeries last year and literally nothing fit me because I was so swollen and bloated, and I'm like, "Well, this is I'm gonna wear this pajama schmuck, whatever." Yeah, so, like, when you're going through all of that and then add on pregnancy, which totally changes your body completely, right? We can get into that, and then postpartum, and then, trying to survive, like you said, take care of another human. Oh my god, so much happens to
Yeah.
your body and to your brain.
It I think you bring up a really good point because I think, yeah, I wanna differentiate between I don't think it's about, like, getting ready for others, right? To, like,
Mhm.
present yourself or to look a certain way. I think it's more of like, thinking back to IVF specifically, I did notice a difference when, for our first cycle, I lived 5 minutes from the clinic. It was amazing. I was able to walk there in the morning, and I
Mm.
noticed a huge difference between the mornings where I would roll out of bed, literally still in my pajamas, like put on a baseball cap and just drive over to the clinic for my monitoring appointment versus the mornings where I would get up, wash my face, put on some fresh pants, like, put on just even like athleisure and even still like wearing a baseball cap, but it's like, hey, at least like I'm wearing a little bit of foundation or a little bit of mascara or like I just feel more presentable and like ready for the day.
Mm.
And I feel like whether or not I got good news or bad news at my monitoring appointment, how I felt like what I was wearing kind of like buffered that. I don't know if that makes any
Oh,
sense.
that's
Like I feel,
interesting.
you know what I mean? Like I felt like a little bit more like I had like I could handle more, or I felt a little
Mm.
more just, like, put together and, like, ready to I don't know. I
Face
don't
it.
really know what I'm saying, actually.
Well,
I
okay,
just
you're making me think, like, I wonder if it has something to do with when you're just, like, rolling out of bed and going. Like, psychologically then, the only reason you're, like, up and doing anything is this appointment, and it now has all
Right.
the power maybe.
Yes.
Whereas,
Okay.
like,
Yes.
you're
Ding, 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 ding.
getting
That's
yourself
100% it.
ready for just life, whatever that
Mhm.
means to you. Like, for me, I me feeling ready is like I wear mascara. I don't really need anything else to feel put together. I just, like, feel like if I have mascara, if I'm put together. But for everybody, everybody's different. I know my mom used to be like, she would never leave the house without lipstick. And I'm not a lipstick girly. I still haven't found a shade. Any of you color match girls out there who like no makeup, you can advise me. But I don't know much about lipstick. But for me, it's mascara. And so I wonder if there's like this psychological thing of like, okay, I'm going to get some news, but I also have other stuff outside of this that that perspective can be there a little bit if you're like all your 100% energy is in this one thing. I'm
I think
totally,
that's a
who
no,
knows?
I think that's actually exactly right, and I think about, like, athleisure or, like, matching sweat sets and why they do so
Mm.
well as, like, a product because
Ooh,
I
yeah.
think that's right. It's like an elevated version of loungewear.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm still comfortable and I'm not comfortable in my body right now because I'm bloated, I don't feel good, I'm hormonal,
Mhm.
add all of the things on that happen while going through IVF, but at least I can wear this matching sweat set that still fits me and is still comfortable, but I feel a little bit like more quote unquote normal or like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Because it's like
Yeah.
IVF and infertility make you feel so different or so
Mhm.
like my life is no longer the same as everyone else's or what I think everyone else's life looks like. And
Yeah.
this kind of makes you feel a little bit more like yourself, I guess. I think it makes me feel more present. Like
Mm.
I think especially when you're going through stims or going through prep for a retrieval or a transfer, it can just feel like momentum, right? Or lack of momentum. Like it just is very like an out of body experience where you're just going through the motions, trying to
Yeah.
survive each day. And I think by making small efforts. I mean, yeah, I don't even want to like call it getting ready because that feels so
So
superficial, but
formal.
it feels so formal. I think it's more of just like self-care of like doing something that makes you feel
Mhm.
more like yourself or just feels
Ooh.
like small like a small way that you can take care of yourself when it feels like everything else is outside of your control.
Mhm.
And the other thing I was going to say is when I was talking about how I noticed I f- I acted differently when I was put together versus not put together, whatever put together is for you.
Mm.
I felt more just like I felt like I could advocate for myself better. I felt like I could
Mm.
accept bad news better when I was not like wearing last night's shirt with sweats, where it's like, oh, this is like a dirty shirt that I'm wearing and I forgot to brush my teeth this morning versus like, okay, at least I feel, I don't know, it sounds so superficial as I say it coming out of my mouth, but it just like, there's something about
Yeah.
it. There's just this like power in feeling put together that makes it seem like I can handle more.
Well, you literally are telling yourself by doing some activity that gets you out literally out of your PJs, your actual PJs.
Right.
You're telling yourself that like I can do things,
Mm,
like I'm going into the world and I'm prepared to do things in the
right.
world.
Yes.
Maybe there's like something in our brain that's like these are inside clothes. These are bedtime clothes.
These are
Like this is safe space clothes and then this is, something different is like an armor almost and like here I am and I can like stand on my feet. What okay, I'm going to shout this person out and she will never listen to this. Our
okay, don't
my
say
old
never.
maybe she will, but my old CFO, she's a badass. Sarah Fryer. She used to say that the bigger the meeting, the higher the heel. And it was like this cute little joke that
Okay.
she
Cute.
told one time in some meeting, some like women's group meeting at my old job. And I've just like forever kept that in my brain. What is it that can help give you just like a little confidence boost
Yeah.
to like take on the world or like take on the thing? And like for
Yeah.
her in this executive position, probably in like a male dominated space, and that for her was like a trick that gave her just
Mhm.
like a little bit more, stamina or a little bit more like presence, strength, whatever it is.
Yeah. Confidence.
For me, in an IVF clinic, it's like a matching sweatsuit and mascara. No,
Yeah. No,
maybe that's what you're getting at is like, can I just
I
have
think
like a
it
little bit
is.
of a boost?
Well, it makes me think of is it Glennon who talks about the uh Superman stance or Superwoman stance like before where you like stand and put your hands on your hips
Uh-huh.
and
Does she talk
yeah,
about
and it
that? I love it.
I think I think that's her. Or also I have a friend who she talks about putting your feet on the ground, like making sure both feet are on the floor when having to advocate for yourself or having to like talk about anything and you need extra confidence, just making sure both feet are on the floor because then you feel extra grounded, which is so funny because, like, if you think about it, when we're in women's healthcare settings, we're
My
always
God.
usually having to advocate for ourselves half naked, like in a robe that, or like
Not
a
even a robe.
gown.
It's
Yeah, a
no, it's not
gown
even
where
a
your butt
robe.
cracks.
You get a gown, I get a piece of paper over.
Yes, no, 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 you're right. Yes, a piece of paper, or if you have to get, I'm thinking of
It's
like
like a big piece of paper,
if
right?
you're doing like mammograms and everything
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
too, or
Yeah.
the breast checks,
Yep.
and you have to be like in the gown where your butt crack is like showing, and you're like trying to hold it together, plus like the paper. But
Yep,
it's like
yep, yep.
it's such a vulnerable position to be in, and then your feet are dangling, right? Because you can't reach the floor, and so you're sitting here in this like cold fluorescent light, and you're having
Mhm.
to advocate to the doctor and be like, hey, I need that. Like, it just,
Yeah. Oh my
we're set
gosh,
up for
Katie, you're
failure.
so right. Like, in those appointments, your feet are up in the stirrups and you're, like, exposed with this, like, paper cloth thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you're mindful enough to put your feet down from the stirrups before you start asking questions,
You still
then
can't reach the floor.
you can't reach the floor, and you're sitting there still half naked, and, like, that's really a vulnerable place to be, and you're so absolutely right. So, like, now I'm thinking, what does it even matter what you wear to the appointment? You know what I
Well, yes. I mean, that's where it's like, can I get dressed
mean?
before having? That was the one good
They
thing
always
about,
talk to you for me, they always talk to me in the room.
unless it is, well, in my experience, unless you have a male doctor, because when my first IVF doctor was a man, and he would always, after we would do the scan, he would step out of the room to let me change and then
Um,
like open the door and we would have a conversation. I think, more for like
Wait,
liability purposes.
that is so interesting. Well, okay, so what have we learned here?
Learned that it is not superficial to want to feel put together in these sort of settings.
And that maybe it's also normal to feel shitty going into these experiences, and that, being aware of the fact that that could be the case, what might make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah. I love this conversation because I have been trying to pinpoint, now that I'm not going through IVF currently,
Mm,
and I'm in this different season where similarly I feel like my mental health and productivity is tied to whether or not I get ready for the day. And again,
mm,
getting ready for the day for me is literally just like the way that I feel so different when I wash my face in the morning, like spend like 5 to 10 minutes doing a skincare routine and just like brushing my
mm.
hair and, maybe putting a curl or two in it, or just like feeling like I look more presentable, putting on a little bit, shout out Daybird foundation, because that always just
Daybird.
makes me, it just
Yes,
makes me feel a million times better. And I
I love
noticed
Daybird.
that it's like the first thing to go when my mental health starts to plummet. My self-care routine, or just like self-hygiene routine, is really kind of the first thing to go downhill,
Mhm.
alongside nutrition, of just like surviving off of coffee and nothing else.
Yeah,
And so
same.
I don't know, it's something that has been on my mind recently, and something that I brought up to Amy when we were talking about what we wanted to chat on the podcast, or chat about on the podcast this week. Um because the other thing, which I guess we'll add a disclaimer, I don't know how you want to approach this, but I want to talk about body image, and I want to talk about the changes that we go through during infertility and IVF with our bodies, changes that are outside of our control, right? Changes that we maybe didn't anticipate, or just kind of feel like another thing where it's like, now I'm experiencing
Mhm,
this change as well. Like, this is also out of my control. But
mhm,
also adding a disclaimer that, like, I don't know, like, this isn't about weight loss, or about like getting back to looking a certain way or having a certain body type. I think it's more about just your body looking a certain way. And then because you're going through IVF and fertility treatments, your body starts to look different without you like realizing that that was going to happen or without you wanting that to happen, right? Just being
Yeah.
something completely outside of your control.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'll preface with that.
Well, what our bodies are going through when they have to go through so much physical and emotional trauma and hormones and this procedure and that procedure and just like the roller coaster. I just want us to be nicer to ourselves, gentler. And I just want to be more appreciative of my body for withstanding everything that it's been going through. And I just feel like my instinct is to be like annoyed and frustrated and angry at myself for the thing. And how do I be more like, no, good job, body. You keeping me safe and like I
I
just
love that.
yeah. And I think maybe we don't talk about it that much because bodies, women's bodies are so hotly debated and discussed and like there's so many points of view on our bodies and we might just shy away from it or like we might just feel an instant shame about how our bodies are changing. I feel like maybe we don't talk about it cuz our instinct is to just be ashamed about it and then like society sort of tells us we have to be this or that and so now we're like
Yeah.
afraid to talk about it but like it is so real. I bet if you talk to
Mm.
anybody who's gone through IVF they have some kind of story around like some physical impact.
Before we hopped on, I was looking on Reddit just to see like how many threads there are about weight and IVF because yeah, like it's a real thing. And I mean, we posted that reel on social media this week with the Grinch like trying to get into his pajamas and I had no idea that it was going to pop off on the way that it did where people are like, yep, this is me. Like after a year of going through fertility treatments, I'm up 20, 30, 40 pounds because of the medications and not only the medications, but like also just I feel like there are just so many things to it, right? There's the stress, there's the eating because it's like the only thing that feels good and the only thing you can control is like having good food and comfort foods and like you said like not being able to exercise in the way that you might be used to. So I think it's just I think it is one of those things where we're scared to talk about it because it feels like is this controversial? But then also I kind of I hesitate with that because it's also like it's my body and it's how I feel about it. So like am I not allowed
Yeah.
to feel a certain way because society says like, "Oh, you need to just, body positivity. Like you need to
Mm.
be happy with your body the way it is no matter what it looks like." I'm feeling that a lot right now with like
Mm.
you went through IVF, you wanted so badly to be pregnant. Like the last thing you should be complaining about is like the weight that you gained from pregnancy. And then, the other voices are saying, look at what your body did. Like you brought this human into the world and you're happy and you're healthy and you should just appreciate all of those things. But then there's still that part of me that's like, I don't look how I did a few years ago. And is it okay that I'm actually like a little bit upset about that? That like I'd like to look how
Mm.
I did a few years ago? Or is that controversial? And I'm not allowed to say that because then that's me like shaming my current body. And
Ooh, good
I
point.
think I just think it's so much more complex and complicated than we make it out to be. Like I can be very appreciative of my body. I can be very respectful of other bodies and other journeys while also still being like, no, like I feel most comfortable and love my body at a certain way, not because I don't love it in all of the other ways, but it's just like this is what I would
Mm.
prefer for it to look like. So I don't know. I mean, it feels honestly, it feels controversial even talking about it right now. And
Yeah.
I think that that is interesting to me because if you look in the shadows like everyone seems to kind of be feeling the same way of like I'm really upset that I'm on these fertility drugs and like they've made me gain 20 pounds that I didn't ask for and 20 pounds like rapidly too, right? Like in a matter of just like a couple of months. So I don't know how to feel about all of it. I think it's just one of yeah, it's very I'm perplexed.
Yeah,
forgot to
it
say
was
it all.
so nuanced and
Yeah.
complex. I think it's so important to say that out loud though, because you're right. Like we're all just going to the corners of Reddit or the internet
Mhm.
here or social there and finding some kind of solace and connection with the other people in the shadows who are having the same
Yeah.
feelings. But you're right, it is so complex. I do think you can it's like a both and
Mhm.
situation where you can be grateful to your body for getting through pregnancy and delivering you a baby and you both of you are healthy and also feel like you want to be more in touch with and more, you want to be more in touch with your body again
Yeah.
and you want to be healthier or stronger or whatever it is. Yeah, it does. I feel like nervous to say that even
It
healthier,
feels
stronger. You know what I mean? I do struggle with this. It's like I don't think you should be shamed for wanting to like be your healthiest version of yourself.
well,
You
I
know?
think it's yeah, I think it
Is this
Amy,
so hard?
are we gonna get
We're gonna get
canceled?
canceled? No,
No, but
I
it
think
it
it's
makes me
so
think of,
important
like,
to talk about.
plastic it makes me think of, like, Botox, right? Which people have a lot of really strong opinions about it, right? Like, on the one
Mhm.
hand, people are like, women should be able to do whatever they want with their bodies, and if they feel like if this is something that they wanna do, that's empowering. Then you have the people who are saying, well, it's because women live within a framework that is telling them that they need to do this. So there's just like layer after layer.
We're just like so police. We police bodies
We're
and women's bodies
so
especially.
police. And
Yeah. I mean, and we're
and I
policing
think
ourselves right now.
we're policing ourselves by even having this conversation.
Yeah.
What I will say,
Or by
this
struggling
is
to have this conversation,
right by tiptoeing around like all of
by
the
like
things.
not knowing how to say the thing. Yeah. Cuz also we're not allowed to say the thing. So like we don't practice how to say the thing either. Do you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And the truest thing that I can say without like with pushing everything aside of like what's right, what's wrong, like how am I supposed to feel? The truest thing that I can say is I know what weight I feel best at, not because of how I look, but because of how I move through the world at a certain weight. Like at like physically move through the world, right? Like for example, I was at the gym the other day and I was doing burpees. I could not do burpees because I weigh more than than I did the last time I did burpees. And so it like was harder for me to move like do that maneuver and like there is a certain weight that I feel comfortable at because I feel better when I run, like my joints feel better, like I feel like my
Mhm.
body is good at like a specific size. Like it feels like its best self physically. Like that has nothing to do with like how it looks or it just is like how
Right?
I feel in in my skin. And
I
then you can add all
don't
of the
think
other
that's
things onto
controversial.
it, right? No, I don't think that's controversial at all. I would hope
Or
it's not.
it shouldn't be. That it like, you personally knowing how you feel, where you feel best should not be a controversial statement.
No, it should not be a controversial statement, but it feels like a controversial statement. And
Yeah.
I think the thing where I do feel a little bit where I think I will kind of place a stake in the sand is that we go through so much already with the emotional side of infertility and IVF for I would say for the majority of probably our listeners where they are at in their fertility journey, they have already sacrificed so much and given up so much of themselves. And to then be given drugs that you have to take in order to proceed with the process that change
Mm.
your body in ways that you may not have anticipated, it it feels like salt in the wound. Like it feels like are
Yeah.
you kidding? Like this is also and not because it's like right or wrong or any of these things. It's just another thing that is outside of your control, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
my favorite
That's
jeans now
probably
don't
what it
fit.
That's
Like, that's
probably
it.
what
It's
it
just like
really comes down to is that it's just another thing that's outside of your control that you are forced to endure, and you have really no choice in the matter of. And it's like
yeah.
another thing that you go through and have to endure that no one else understands,
Mm,
and that you because it's a body related thing, you also can't really explain or talk about in a way that, like, doesn't get you either the reaction, "Well, then just eat better or just go work out," or, "Don't worry about it. Be so loving to your body. Look what you're going through." There's no in between to have both of, like, "Yes, I will go through this. Yes, I'm annoyed with it." Both and. Like, it
both
maybe
things can
that's
be
really what it comes down to is what you're saying is that it's just, like, another thing that you do not have any control over and that you have to endure and that no one else will understand. And it lasts a long time because
and it
hi,
lasts a
for
long time.
women, I hope this isn't controversial, but for women, like especially as we get older, that's harder and harder to deal with. Like our bodies don't react the same way. They don't, it's just not the same. Like your metabolism's not the same.
Mhm.
I hope that's not a controversial statement, but it's true.
No,
Sorry, we are, and I hope that I don't get yelled at. I mean it.
don't don't yell at me,
Don't yell
please.
at me. I'm trying my best.
We're just yeah, yeah, Amy. Well, and the other thing I was thinking about too is that like one thing that I didn't really think about going into my transfer until it was that time is that like I'm going into my transfer already up like 15 to 20 pounds because of the IVF
Yes.
meds. And the mental game that that plays with you of
Mm.
like you're so happy to be pregnant, but I remember in the first trimester just being like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm already," because you're also on progesterone for depending on your protocol, but I was on suppositories for the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. And so I was
Mhm.
so bloated and like things stopped fitting immediately. And like
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's what it is it's like it's not I'm not taking issue with my body. Like sure, I am not above society and like all of the things. Like do I sit here and have issues with body image and have to like do the self-talk and the work to of course. We all do,
Yeah.
right? Like
We
I
all
mean,
do.
I'm not I'm not above society here in saying that like I don't have body image issues. What I am saying though is like I think it's so much bigger than that. Like it's not for me it's not about the fact that my jeans won't fit. It's about the fact that I can't get pregnant and I have to spend all of this money to get pregnant and now I'm finally pregnant, but now I have anxiety because I'm scared that I'm going to lose this baby. Also, I don't know who to talk to about any of this. And also my fucking jeans won't fit. Like it's just, you know what I mean? Like it's the
Yes.
tip of the iceberg and I feel like that's kind of what it is with postpartum too of just like
Mm.
everything has changed and now I just want to be able to put on my favorite pair of jeans and to zip them up and I can't do that anymore and I feel like I'm going
Yeah.
to lose it because of that. And I think that is what a lot of us are feeling, right? Am I warm?
Yes. I think you're hot. I think you're boiling. Yeah. Yep. I think that's exactly it. It's like all of the things and my fucking jeans don't fit or,
Yeah. It's
whatever
just
your version of fitting the best fitting jeans is. Yeah. Well,
I put on my favorite swimsuit the other day. We went in the hot
oh
tub at
god,
my
absolutely not. I don't know.
right.
I
Just
can't wear a
no.
swimsuit.
Just
No.
don't.
Just no.
Don't even.
But then I also like over here I'm like, well, fuck the patriarchy. Wear the damn swimsuit. Wear
Right.
whatever you
Wear the
want. And I'm like,
swimsuit, whatever.
I know. Trying to be
But
I'm trying to be a
I
feminist.
I have this swimsuit from this amazing brand, You Swim. If anyone needs a swimsuit, they're
Yeah.
wonderful. They're UK based and they make sustainable swimwear and it's like all like this very size inclusive because they're like
It's
magic
like,
swimsuits. They like
yeah,
stretch and mold.
the lavender one that you have, right? Or a periwinkle
I
or something?
had, yes. Yeah. Well, so I got
Had.
another
Okay.
one because I had this one a long time ago. And then, yeah, I just remember that. I wore it to your bachelorette party when we went like
Yeah,
on
yeah. On the boat.
yeah. That was on the boat.
Yeah.
We went
Oh,
on
it
a
was
boat
so
for
fun.
Amy's bachelorette. It was so
You
fun.
know,
Uh,
it was so fun.
so I got another one uh, when I was pregnant and was really excited because they're made to adapt to pregnancy, and they're super, all the model, they look so cute wearing them, and they're like real people. It's not, it's not a bunch of just like AI
Yeah.
photoshopped models. Like it's real
Yeah.
people. And I was like, I want to look cute. Like I want to have like a cute swimsuit while
Yeah.
pregnant. I live in Southern California. It's the summertime. And um so had the swimsuit, wore it through pregnancy, and I'm at my sister's over Thanksgiving break to go in the hot tub. And back to the boobs situation.
Oh, yes.
Amy,
Let's circle back to
when
boobs.
I tell you that I put this swimsuit on and almost had a breakdown, like my
No.
boobs have completely, without getting too explicit, those photos of like gorillas like nursing their baby, or like in the, or yeah, and the
Yeah.
boobs just like hang down to the earth. There is nothing there. Like there is zero lift there anymore. And so I put this swimsuit on, which doesn't have, this is the one thing that you swim. I feel like if you're listening, please create something with like cups in it. It
Yeah.
doesn't have any cups. Like there's nothing to like lift or
Yeah.
support. So I just have this like uniboob that is like down to my belly button. And my sister
Oh,
and I are laughing
no.
about it. Like it was funny. But it also was like this swimsuit, like I can't even wear this swimsuit that I love anymore. I can't even wear this swimsuit anymore.
So,
I mean, I can, but it's like it's not comfortable, and I definitely don't feel comfortable in
mm,
it.
yeah.
And yeah, that's my story.
Just your body has to go through so much. And like, I don't want to diminish what your body goes through pregnancy. That is horrific. Oh my God, what your body has to endure. And then postpartum, sorry, that's not the right word to use, but it feels kind
Horrific.
of
It's so awful.
scary.
I mean, it's yes.
All the love, all the love. But back to your what you said, it really triggered me that like you get like an extra several months and or years of this thing, this like being robbed of your body.
Mhm.
And maybe it goes deeper than even like just the surface level, what's happening to your body on the surface level. You're actually like being robbed of your body like under the surface too, right? Like you're being robbed of like your cycle, your natural cycle, your sex drive,
Oh my God, yes.
your energy, your mental health. But like
Mhm.
you're just maybe the meta point is like your body just becomes this vehicle, this service vehicle. And I think
Mm.
that's kind of similar to what I see a lot of, and maybe you could opine on this, but like what I see a lot of mothers and postpartum talking about is like, like they're touched out or they don't have any time for themselves, right? Is like you're always needed, especially if you're breastfeeding early on, then like
Mhm.
literally you're the one providing the, sustaining life
Mm.
until a partner can help you. Like I feel like it's similar to that where like those feelings of just not, you don't have control and like it's not, your body's not your own to do with. But I think what maybe you're getting at is like that starts so much earlier than pregnancy when you're going through infertility because
Yes.
that has to shift. And maybe that's what this is all about. Is like it comes out being frustrated with the fact that my favorite jeans don't fit or like that I don't want to wear a swimsuit, but it's really about the fact that like it's no longer my own. And
Mhm.
one thing I was thinking of when we decided to pursue surrogacy, I was thinking, wow, what would it be like to have my body back and
Mm.
not have to be on point for like the next surgery, the next procedure, always taking meds, like always tracking my body and being like hyper vigilant about my body. What would that be like? And would that be at all freeing? And like, will I feel better about, being able to turn that corner? Now, since making that decision, we haven't fully let up on my body, but I do like wonder and hope that's
I
the case
I think let's
soon. Yeah.
put a pin in that because I think we need to do an entire episode about that if and when and once you have you're matched and somebody is pregnant, because I think that is a question that a lot of people probably have but are scared to
Mm,
ask of intended parents, of like the complexities of what does it feel like to not be pregnant, but also like, is there a part of you that is
mm,
kind of a little bit grateful that you don't have to be, that you get your body back?
the one.
Hmm.
It's so complex. Yeah, let's take that
Yeah, I think there's a
for
lot
another one.
there.
I have some things I've thought about. I really, really would love to have somebody who's gone through it talk about it too. One of the podcasts that I really loved, Tara Lipinski's
Hmm.
Unexpecting podcast, that really
Yeah.
helped me figure out that surrogacy was an option and that, it's gonna be okay. She talks about this in her episode where, like, she really, really like, she had, her many episodes. She really, really wanted to carry and tried. She had several miscarriages and felt awful during pregnancy, and then she really thought she would still wanna try, and then once her surrogate got pregnant, suddenly that just, like, lifted away from her, and she has not had I don't know now, but when she was doing the show, she said she had not had that drive or pull to try to carry again, and that it's sort of like she was able to release that when the surrogate was actually pregnant. And so I am very curious how that will feel for me. And I think one thing I've really been challenged by is like how much of wanting to be pregnant and carry is just another one of those societal things that makes me
Hmm.
like a real mom, a real woman.
Mm,
Are those pressures there under the surface? So I'm not sure. I think it's really complex. So yeah, let's talk more about that.
yeah, that would be.
Uh,
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to add about this conversation, because I think when you said for those of us who are pregnant, who carry, but have to go through infertility and IVF first, how that journey starts so much sooner, right? The giving up of your
mhm.
body and the like, this feeling of kind of being a vehicle and just going to procedure after procedure. And this is the thing that I think can be most complicated in uh, in a relationship as well, or like has been, at least for me, of
Yes.
like yes, you are just as much a part of this, and like it's for my husband, your feelings are so valid and your grief is so valid, but also you are just accompanying me to this appointment where I also have to have my body completely just like splayed open in all
Mhm.
the senses, every single day for however long this is going to take us, right?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
I think that's just like it's not something that you anticipate. It's something that just
Mm.
happens to you, right? Like you don't have a choice. Like if you want to continue on this journey of trying to get pregnant, you take the pills, you take the drugs, you do the shots, you go to
Yeah.
all of the monitoring appointments and have the wand stuck up there every single time. You do the HSG, you do the all of the different procedures, right? The laparoscopic surgeries, the like whatever it is, your
Mhm.
body is at the center of it all. And you have no
Yeah.
control over that. And so what it made me think about is, stay with me here. The through line is, what it made me think about is why I felt
Mm.
so not resistant, but because I did love breastfeeding, but it was
Mm.
so easy for me to give it up. I had like a couple moments where I grieved the end of breastfeeding. I only breastfed for about 2 months before switching to formula. And I think a lot of that was because of going through IVF, of just
Mm.
being like, I'm so tired. Like, I'm tired. Like, I want my body back. Like, I want my hormones to regulate. I want my period back. Like, I want to just feel like myself again. And I think that
Mm.
is circling back on this entire topic. Like, again, it's not about wanting to look a certain way. It's just about wanting to have my body back and to feel like I am in the driver's seat again, instead of just like being along for the ride and whatever happens to my body, however much weight I gain, however much weight I lose, however many bruises I get, how my hormones feel, like none of it is in my control. And you just like
Mhm.
want that back.
Oof, yes. I think I feel that so deeply. And maybe one other thing I want to add that you made me think of is that all of that you're going through and enduring, where it's all about your body, it's also all about your body while you're being told your body is not working.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
actually, that is like when I just had this realization, it was like a aha moment, like a light bulb, like my brain just blew up kind of like,
Yeah.
no wonder this feels so hard and challenging because it's all on your body. Like we love our partners and our husbands and they're such a part of this, but it's not happening to their body.
Hmm.
And generally, like at least in
Even,
our
even if it is their,
even if it's their
like, even
problem,
if it's
not
male
problem, sorry.
factor, but like, even if it is male
Male
factor,
factor. It's still your
there's, you're still doing the majority
the
of
majority.
the, yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And in that even in that case, most of the pressure is still on you and
You.
your singular body. And in my case, or in a case where it is like very actually my body is the problem here, I don't know that we give ourselves enough credit for how traumatic it is to be sitting in an appointment like that and just constantly getting news that your body is failing this test. Every pop quiz, it fails. Like, I don't know if I'm feeling very emotional even saying that out loud. Like, I don't think that we really acknowledge what it's like, what it does to you, and your own relationship with this body that you've had for so many years that maybe you had a good relationship with before, or maybe it was already challenging. And now you're having to endure like this feedback loop that, like, it's not working. Your body's not working. Your uterus isn't working. Your ovaries aren't working. Your eggs aren't working. This transfer failed. You had a miscarriage. Like, I don't know that we appreciate that. And maybe that's what this really boils down to is this combination of like your body is no longer your own. It's a tool and it is a failing tool. At least that's how it feels
And
for me. I don't know how it feels for you. Like
no, it,
unexplained infertility, explained infertility, male factor infertility. I just feel like regardless, it comes down to us.
it actually makes me think about body neutrality. Have you heard this term?
Mm, yeah.
And how I think one of the reasons why it's so appealing and maybe what it gets right is that, we haven't talked in detail about my birth experience yet, but I go I feel this pendulum of like in some ways it's like your body birthed this child that you couldn't conceive, but like somehow this like miracle happened and science and look at like you got this like baby at full term and you have this like beautiful, healthy, happy baby to you couldn't even birth well, like that
Mm,
feeling of like you couldn't even get through the birthing experience without there being like an emergency or without like your body not doing what it's supposed to do.
mm,
And I think the body neutrality movement's really, or I don't even want to call it a movement. That feels like it doesn't give it enough credit. But I like this idea of just like my body just being the body. Like
mm,
it's doing well and it's not doing well. But like there's no like
mm,
value to that, right? Of just like some of us can't get pregnant and some of us can get pregnant. Some of us can't breastfeed. Some of us can breastfeed. Some of like I just this idea of like maybe we just like need to stop judging our bodies for doing well or not doing well or being strong or being weak or like this language that we have surrounding our bodies
mm.
especially when going through infertility, where, like, yeah, like you said, like every single day, I mean, every single cycle, specifically when you
My
get that
God.
negative pregnancy test again and again and again, it just feels like somebody screaming at you of like, your body sucks. Like, it can't do the very thing that it's supposed to, that you've been told your whole life, like, hey, be careful because your body will do this like so easily. And then it's like, well, what's wrong with me? Because my body won't do it easily. And
Mhm.
so I don't know. I think the more and more we talk about
Mm,
this, the more I find myself like stepping back and being like, maybe the correct language here is just to be like, our bodies are bodies. They're evolving, they're changing. Sometimes they do things, sometimes they don't do things. But like,
mm,
maybe we need to stop like measuring it in the way that we have been, you know?
That is such a profound idea and very challenging.
It's
I hear
impossible.
it and I'm immediately like, "Okay, but how do I do that?"
But
Like,
how? Right.
because
Right.
yeah, because like, you're so right, like, I'm, like, struggling with, like, being disappointed with my body, trying to be grateful for my body,
Mm,
and then trying not to judge my body at all, and it's just like,
how?
how do we do this?
And
And
also, like,
someone tell us
why?
how.
Why do I
Why?
have to do another thing, right?
Oh my
Like,
god.
this, like, feels like another thing to figure out, and I just want to not do any of
Just
it.
want to
And so,
not have to worry about it. What if I could just live with this body that I have?
I think I've shared this on the podcast before, but there is a writer who she wrote, I'm gonna get it wrong, but there was like a essay or something she wrote about this where she had gone through infertility and ended up having a child or two and was on the other side of all of that. Like, her kids were a little bit older, and she was in the bath and like had this realization that like, I finally have my body back. And I don't know, I go back to that a lot in my mind of this like vision of like being in the bathtub with a glass of wine and being like, I'm done. Like,
Mm,
it's over.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe that's dark and like, I don't know. There's a part of me that is just like, it's exhausting. It's
Mhm.
and like I said at the beginning, like, I think the biggest thing for me is it's not something that you asked for.
I hope that people can listen to this with, like, an open ear and know that if we misstepped at all, we're trying really hard not to misstep, and it's really coming from, like, an honest conversation of, like,
Mm.
that it's really hard to have. But, maybe the last thing I wanna say, hearing you talk about the gal in the bathtub, is that I do think this is why it's so important to hear from people who've been through it and get through it, and those, like, big sister kinda conversations can help remind us that, like, we're gonna be okay. And right now, this really sucks, but you're gonna be okay. And I feel like maybe that's just one thing I wanna point out, you know? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
No, I
Maybe
love
that's not
that.
that helpful.
No, I think that's actually really helpful because I think perspective is the one of the big
Ugh.
things that you lose during
Well, it
this.
made me think about, like, how much we're talking about our bodies right now, and then the woman in the bathtub, and then
Mm,
fast forward 15 years from then, as we get older, our bodies are not gonna be the bodies we had now, even though my body's going through a lot now, right? And so, like, it's also making me think of, like, I think this is maybe a lifetime challenge that are enduring, and it comes into focus in moments like IVF and in moments of, like, IVF and infertility, or in moments of postpartum or pregnancy, but it's a very human experience actually throughout your life, right? Like, getting older and having joint pain, or God forbid, being diagnosed with something and having to constantly come to terms with this changing body that's holding up all your bones, and like that your whole, you know, brain and emotional state and personality live within, the fact that we kind of have to always be coming to terms with our bodies and what they can and can't do for us or what we can or can't force them to do.
Mhm.
And it makes me think about my dad, who my dad was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at 59. And so coming to terms with what happens to him, or my father-in-law has Parkinson's and he's really young, like what's coming to, like it just makes me think of the person who gets diagnosed with breast cancer at 40 and like have to just constantly be coming to terms with our bodies and like how do we do that in a way that like doesn't completely alienate us from our bodies. And so I guess what I'm thinking of
Yeah.
is it's a very, very localized experience for the infertility community, but it is not an uncommon, it's a human experience.
Yes.
It's a human
It's very
experience.
universal, and I think we're talking about it through the lens of IVF and infertility and maternal health because that's our experience. But yeah, you're so
Mhm.
right. And like who's to say that like this is the only experience that we'll have?
I hope so, but
I hope so. But
we can't know, and yeah.
know, there are many people who have multiple experiences, like different chapters of their life where they are having to have these conversations and feel like their body might be failing them or their body is changing without their permission. And so I think that's where, yeah, it does get really when we have like one like as a society when we have like one type of body that is
Mm.
healthy and desired and put on a pedestal of like this is like what your body should look like, this is what your body should be doing, like for infertility it's like as a woman this is what it means to be a healthy woman. I mean, I remember at the beginning of
Yeah.
there was just this really, I need to send it to you, this really great reel that I think it was a doctor did it and it was talking about how she was like it was about being crunchy. She was like, you're a crunchy granola person until you have to do IVF and your baby like becomes like a GMO baby." Because she was like,
Oh my
for the
god.
first couple of years of infertility, it was all about like getting to the root cause and I'm going to like supplement and eat my way to getting pregnant. And it's like, no, girl, like you have endometriosis or like you have something that like
Girl.
needs a doctor to help you
Yeah.
get pregnant. Like you need science, you need a doctor and that's
No, girl.
okay.
Yeah.
No, girl, like you have like a diagnosis that cannot be solved with like eating more apples and oranges. And so
That's how I feel.
and there's this idea of what a woman's body should be able to do,
Mhm.
and if you're not able to do whatever that thing is, then there's something wrong with you, when it's like actually no, like as we are learning, 1 in 6 if not more people are dealing with infertility, and that's not because there's like
Mhm.
I don't know, like necessarily something wrong. Like, yes, it is a diagnosis. Like, yes, it is something that needs intervention, but I don't know if we should be framing it in the way of like, oh,
Mm.
you're the black sheep of society because like you can't get pregnant without intervention.
It's not a character flaw is the thing,
Exactly. It's
right?
not
And also,
reflective
like
of you. Like it's not you
yeah,
didn't do something wrong
yeah,
and now you have
yeah.
infertility. It's like you just have
God,
infertility. You didn't do something wrong and now you have this
Katie, you're
diagnosis. It's like
you are stepping into such a sensitive area of, like, this feeling that you're the wrong one, like, you're
yeah,
wrong,
like
you're a
you did
failure,
something.
you did something wrong, like,
Amy,
that is
over
such a
Thanksgiving,
hot
my
topic.
mom. Okay, let's end. Let's end with
Let's end
this
here.
because
Yeah,
this is
wrap us
truly an
up.
evolving conversation. Um,
Yeah.
that we could talk about for hours. I feel like no,
Where's the wine?
over thanks where right? It's what
Where's the
it's
wine?
time. It's my time. Over Thanksgiving, my mom was painting her dining room. And the way that I have not felt this feeling since I was going through like prepping, honestly, the last time I probably felt this way was when I was doing like the deep cycle tracking at like before
Mm,
even IVF, like when I'm like trying to get my egg quality, like we're doing everything here, right? Like we're not breathing any fumes, like we're like freaking out at the gas station because it's like that could
yeah.
impact my egg quality.
Yeah.
Though my mom was painting her dining room and Lumi was in the house and the like my first thought, which is just like so reflective of trauma brain, was am
Mm,
I damaging and keep in mind, I'm thinking fault here. Am I
mm,
damaging my daughter's fertility by letting her be around paint fumes at 5 months old? That was the first, like, just like the intrusive thought that came into my mind because of all of the years of experience with this and
mhm,
being like, it's like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to wear a perfume and my daughter's going to breathe it and it's going to cause her to be infertile later on in life. Or I did something when I was 16 that like caused me to be infertile.
mm,
Like those kind of
mhm,
intrusive thoughts, right? And
mhm.
so I think it just
Wow.
like gets back to, yeah, it's so messed up. Like if you know a therapist, like please give me your recommendation because I need one clearly.
No, but
But no,
it's
I
so true. It's so true.
it's so true. And so I think it goes back to what we're saying about you're
Yeah.
not responsible for your infertility
Mm,
diagnosis, whatever that may be. Like you didn't, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't believe it. Maybe it's not actual science. Maybe some doctor is like pounding their dashboard as they're listening to this in their car and they're like, that's not true. Like you could have done something different. But I don't think that,
please. No.
there's someone out there. There's someone.
Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, maybe in rare cases, but
Yeah.
no. But regardless, we feel so responsible and like the what ifs are constant and
Hmm.
that's just really hard
Yeah.
to live with. And I feel that so deeply, girl. I feel so deeply. I don't know. This is think such a complex topic and so also so important. And
Mm,
I think it's important because it's so hard and we're probably all struggling with it to some extent in some way.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to any of it, but I just want to send some love out there and you know, you are doing your best and you are doing great and don't, you know, it's easy to say don't forget it, but we always forget it. So
Yeah.
tune back in here and we'll tell you it again that you're doing great.
You're doing great. However you feel about your body is okay. I
It's
think
okay.
that's what I want to say is if you're mad at it, if you're proud of it, if you're wanting it to look different, if you love how it looks right now, yes to all of it. Like
Mhm.
this is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard being a woman. It's hard going through
Yeah.
infertility and IVF. It's hard going through really anything related to body. It's hard thinking about bodies and talking about bodies. And so just like, yeah, we see you. We're right there with you.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
be gentle on yourself and get yourself a treat,
Get
as we
yourself a
always
treat.
recommend.
Get yourself a treat.
You deserve it.
You deserve it and you're doing great.
And
So
get
get
yourself
yourself a
a
treat.
new sweatsuit. If you're doing IVF in January of 2026, go buy yourself a new sweatsuit or
I wish we
whatever
had
is your
a
thing.
sweatsuit on our giveaway.
Maybe we can, yeah, if you are not following
Mhm.
us on social media, we are doing the 12 days of infertility giveaway with some
So
amazing,
funny.
amazing gifts. It's so funny and it's so fun. It's
Yeah.
like just a nice thing to, I don't know. I love seeing all the comments come in. I love seeing like people's reactions. So,
They're so good. There was some really funny ones this week. We should sing the whole 12 Days of
You
Infertility
should
song
sing the
on the
whole.
next pod. I'll sing it through.
Yeah,
We'll say
and
it
you will
out loud. It's
practice it
really
and sing
fun.
it through. Anthony and I were singing it the other night. It is not, it's a funky version of
It's
the
funky.
syllables
It
do
was
not line up
yeah.
perfectly, but
No,
that's okay.
it is amazing, and I love it so much. You have done such an incredible job at it. Katie came up with this. This is the best thing I've ever seen. This is amazing. I sang it to Nima, and he, like, was cracking up. But, yes, go check it out, and then we're sending you lots of love right now through the holiday season, and we'll see you before the end of the year.
All right. Talk to you next time.
Okay. Love you.
Bye.